All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Course Creator Community Podcast. I'm your host, Jono, and I am super excited because we've got an awesome guest on the line this week, all the way from Romania. A little bit about this person. She's a conversion copywriter and copy coach and has over 25,000 hours under her belt. She's helped leading course creators achieve seven-figure revenue through her customer-centric copywriting and email marketing. So without further ado, let me introduce the one and only Monica Baiu. Monica, how are you?
I'm super pumped after hearing that amazing introduction. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Happy to have you on. Before we get into the tips, Monica, do you want to give us a little bit of background, a little bit of context? Who are you? What do you do? How'd you get into it?
Okay, cool. I'll take that challenge. So I've been in digital marketing since I was 22. I'm 36 now. So I have lots of years of experience doing almost everything you can think about when it comes to digital marketing and in-person marketing. And over the years, I was able to kind of see what works and what doesn't, what feels good and what doesn't feel good, to myself as a professional and even for the clients I work with. And lately, in the past, I would say 4 years, I started to niche down. So from being the unicorn who could do everything in marketing, and I'm not saying that to brag, but that's what was happening, I decided to niche down. And I niched down on copywriting, specific email marketing promotions. And it was so fun because having all that experience gave me the confidence to try and do it very differently. And I put into it my love for psychology and my obsession for consumer behavior and economics theory. So it's a very interesting craft happening behind the scenes, and just thinking about it now, it's a like combination of what I love to do most. And when I'm not writing, I make paper art. So I
Paper
have
art.
my own
Okay.
YouTube channel, paper art. Yeah, I can show you something that I've
Yeah, let
just
me
done.
see. The listeners won't see it, but I'm
Look
just
at it.
curious for my own curiosity. Boom. Where did you buy that? Did you say?
I made this.
You made that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
So
made.
there you go. Along with being an amazing marketer, you're also an amazing paper maker. Awesome. All right. Well, let's get into the tips then, Monica. So most people listening to this, they know the power of email marketing. They've at least heard it before. They'll have an email list. They may or may not email their list. They may or may not make sales. What kind of tips can you give us? I'm reading your bio here. You've got some creators that have made up to seven figures and millions of dollars. We don't have to go there. Obviously, not everyone is aiming for that. But I mean, what's the first tip you would give a course creator?
It doesn't have to suck. Like your emails don't have to suck for them to convert. And I'm saying that because most of the emails we get in our inbox, they are bad. They're, that crappy emergency fear mongering approach where it says, if you don't get this discount, your life sucks. If you don't get this course, you'll never be able to achieve whatever dream. So that's the approach we're seeing right now. And most people, they don't like that, including course creators, because obviously it doesn't feel natural to them. It doesn't feel authentic. So there's this misconception that if you have to write sales emails, they have to be similar to what you're getting right in your inbox. But that's not the reality of things. Like they don't have to suck for them to convert and for you to actually be using them. That's my first tip.
Okay. So, well, let's break a few things down there. So, they don't have to suck. Oh, actually, let's continue on from there. So, okay, they don't have to suck. What do they got to be? Oh, what's the next tip from there?
Okay, so a lot of the things that I'm gonna share in this episode, this is stuff that you've heard before, but they're lacking the practical approach. So I'm gonna include examples as well. So when I say they don't have to suck, they don't have to look like the emails you get. You can still make them sound just like you and have them sell, but without them being very annoying. So for instance, something that you can do is share a story. So, Monica, yesterday I was walking towards my gym and I was thinking that 10 years ago I hated going to the gym. It sucked the life out of me just thinking about those moments when I would have to drip sweat all over my clothes and having to work out in a crowded gym. But then one night when I was sick of feeling very bad about my health, I found something while scrolling, I don't know, Instagram. And it was an ad from some guy who said it was possible to it my fear for going to the gym was actually connected to my fear of being judged by others. And that made me think, because I'm a psychologist. So, yeah, they're kind of connected. So, I started working on what I thought I was supposed to look like outside and where I was going, that image of myself kind of made me feel bad. And yes, the two of them are connected. So, over the years, I was able to kind of create a method and help other people who, just like me, hated going to the gym, but they hated going to the gym for the wrong reasons, while at the same time damaging their health. And that method, I call that, I don't know, the new self 101. And the doors are open and you can go right here and see what's inside. So
Love it.
that's an example of a sales email that connects with the audience, is natural because it's about the course creator and it talks about how they discovered the method and how it hurts and what they did to solve it. It's also interesting because when you have like a story, you catch the audience's attention in a much different way than saying, if you don't get my new Self 101 course, you're never going to be able to go to the gym and feel good about yourself in public. So it's just an example of switching perception.
Gotcha. Couple questions there, and let's get some context there. Is that an email that you would send like your current email database when you're going to launch something, or is that something that would come, after they've opted into a freebie or after a Facebook ad? When does this email kind of get sent?
Very, very good question. And if you tested it a few times, let's say in launch, and it worked, you can automate it. So if somebody joins, someone clicks your ad from Facebook or YouTube or whatever, and they go to your lead magnet page, they sign up, they can be redirected to maybe another product like a tripwire page. But once they signed up, they can start receiving some automated emails. And one of those automated emails can be this example.
Gotcha.
And there's obviously plenty of things you can do with email marketing. We can talk about that if you want. I'm a fan of automated welcome sequences. So exactly what happens after somebody signs up for your email list and you have an offer towards the end of that welcome sequence. And I'm also a fan of monthly promotions. And I know that's going to trigger a lot of people because most people only do like Black Friday and the occasional, course launch. But over the past few years, I've been doing bi-weekly promotions for clients.
Love it. Yeah, well, I'm actually a weekly guy, to be honest. I do one every week, so I'm with you on that.
Awesome.
But all right, let's even break some of that down. Are you okay if we break some of that down? Because I think that'll be important.
Yeah.
To give some more context there.
I want this episode to be practical, and even if I don't get to answer all the questions or share enough information right now, people can leave comments and I can answer the comments or they can email me. I'll be happy to help.
Beautiful. And for everyone listening, I'll put Monica's social media links and website in the description. So maybe let's even start there. Let's start welcome sequence, just general kind of stuff. Someone opts into a Facebook ad or opts into a lead magnet or a freebie, whatever. In that initial email sequence that you mentioned, roughly what are we looking at? How many emails over how many days?
Okay, so you can have 5 to 7 emails over just as many days or 2 weeks if you want. There's a really good copywriter. Yeah, there's a really good copywriter who talks about this and explains the exact strategy behind writing a really good welcome sequence. His name is Kyle Jordan. I actually had a podcast interview with him. the idea is to understand, and this goes back to every email you're going to write. It doesn't matter how many emails or over how many days. It matters why you're sending that email and what's in it for the person who's going to read that email. So someone who's coming from Facebook, if it's not a retargeted ad, like people in your audience who have seen your brand before, they're completely new this time around. You need to think about what's in this guy's head. What are they thinking? If they've never seen me before, they don't know my reputation. They don't know that I have 5 million people on YouTube. They don't know that I have awards and certifications. They know nothing. They just click the ad because they wanted something free. So it's your job with that welcome sequence to onboard them and show them this is my mission and this is how you can be part of this amazing change we're creating in the world. Because if you just focus on here's your discount and this is everything that's going to do for you, like all the features, you're not going to get the long-term client. And I've seen that happening with so many ad campaigns where you get leads super cheap, but then they don't convert and they just lay on your email list for ages and ages and ages, and they're not engaged. And that's where a welcome sequence dedicated to the specific mindset of the person who's never heard about you, to get them onboarded so they learn about you, they know what you do, how you do it, what's amazing about what you do, what have other people been able to achieve with what you do. So those are like 5 ideas for 5 individual emails in your welcome sequence.
Love it. And you do 1 email on each one of those.
Yeah. And that goes to, this applies to every email, because I see so many emails with like trying to talk about 100 different things. So this is a major problem. We don't have the same attention span we had before the internet. We are not able to just focus on one piece of content at a time without having interruptions. You have your laptop, you're looking in your inbox, but while you're doing that, you have notifications, you have Slack, you have maybe Facebook, you have Gmail, you have your phone, again, notifications, calls, you have people around you, especially if you're working from home, you have your kids, you have maybe the UPS guy. There's so much stuff going on, and when you send an email that tries to do 100 things at the same time, you're not going to win anything. So this is another one of my go-to tips. Focus each email on one thing. And when I say that, I mean, don't talk about 100 problems. Focus on one problem. What's the biggest problem they have right now? And talk about that. Give them some, maybe a new perspective. Open their eyes to something they're not seeing regarding that problem. Try to guide them. So if they decide to open that email and they invest 10 seconds, 30 seconds, however much, make sure that they get something good from that email, because that helps you long term build your brand and your reputation and your, trustworthiness with that specific person.
Gotcha. Awesome. Okay. That makes sense there. You then also mentioned at least doing a monthly campaign, or even bi-monthly or bi-weekly, or like, what is, tell us about that. What does that look like? Probably same in terms of structure. How many emails are we sending? Is it the one product where we're kind of pitching every single month, or are we rotating 3 or 4? Like, give us maybe an overview on that.
Okay, for a small intro, you can find out more about like this strategy if you search datadrivenmarketing.co. That's the agency where we've developed this approach, let's call it that. So we have a phase where we warm people up, and it's 3 emails. They're only content based. Their whole purpose is to increase awareness, because your audience is not in the same state they were when they signed up. So you need to remind them, this is the problem you have, this is how it's impacting your life, and this is what you can do about it. And these 3 things are describe exactly what each email is supposed to do. And we can talk about that later. So it's 3 emails sent over 3 days. They don't sell anything, they just raise awareness. Then we have 8 promo emails, 6 if you're looking for a shorter version. And the six emails just follow the gain, logic, fear, and then you have the regular going, gone emails. So gain, it would be like the first email in your promo series, and it's all about connecting the dots to the warm-up emails. So the initial problem you talked about in those warm-up emails. And you tell them, well, if you have that problem and you're wondering, that's awesome. I've learned so much, but what do I do now? I need help implementing because I know I suck at implementing. And you tell them, well, that's why I created this course. And it has helped 10,000 other people achieve their goal. And right now we have doors open, and there's also like 2 bonuses and a discount. And here's what else you're gaining when you join this course: a community, I don't know, 453 lessons on how to make money or whatever it is. The second email is the logic one. So why would it logically make sense to your audience who has that specific problem to take your course now? What's happening in the world? Maybe here are 4 reasons why it makes sense right now to invest in learning a new language, because the economy is going down, or that the remote industry means that there will be more job opportunities for people who speak more languages. Or the logic one could also be about the roadmap, how your method works and how it can actually help someone who has that problem find the solution. The fear one is usually a fear they have, and it could be a fear about using your course in case they've been the course before but they haven't bought. You can tackle that objection. It could be a fear about the industry. Well, is it worth investing in email marketing? Isn't email dead? That's another example of a fear. It could be something about personal fear, but I am not tech savvy, or my email list is not big enough, or I don't know what to write in those emails. Again, one thing per email, and you tackle one specific fear. And if we're going into the going series, that's meant for procrastinators. And these 2 or 3 emails sent over the course of 2 days, this is what a lot of people see in their inboxes and think, well, email marketing sucks. Like promo emails suck because you have like, hey, 24-hour alert, your final reminder, urgency, your $500 discount expires tonight. And you can do that, obviously, but you can also talk about what's keeping them stuck. You can talk about their fear of starting something new. You can even tackle the fact that, look, you've been getting my email so far and I'm not seeing your name on the list of new students. This tells me that you might be procrastinating. If that's so, procrastination can impact other areas of your life, and it's never going to stop unless you make a commitment to change things for yourself. I can give you the roadmap, I can give you the tools, I can give you the knowledge, but I can't make you take action. So while there's still time, consider if this is how you want to end the year. Still thinking about what if, or actually ending the year knowing that you have taken action towards meeting your goals. P.S. Your discount expires soon. So that's a very different example to what you'd be normally seeing in an inbox towards the end of a promotion.
Gotcha. All right. Let me summarize some of this. So that would be, say for course creators, that would be for one course. Let's say they've got a course. They're like, right, I'm going to promote this over the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to send, 3 content emails in week 1, for example. And then I'm going to send, 6 a bit more salesy ones the week after. The salesy ones are with the gain, logic, fear, and then the going on. And then do we repeat that again straight away with the same course or with a new course, or what? Or if we've only got one course, do we wait them, or what can you kind of tell us there?
So if you only have one course, that's going to be a little bit more difficult, because you either have to have more leads coming in and being exposed to your stuff for the first time, or you just become very creative about finding ways to talk about your course. I had to promote a course 12 times over 13 months, the same course. And it was not easy, so I had to create like this kind of major brainstorming map where I could find, okay, so this course has this specific outcome. Who can benefit from this? And what are the problems they have? And then finding ways to link those problems to contexts or situations that were happening in July, and then in August, and then in September. The other way is to splinter. So to basically take something out of the course and create a smaller course. This is a strategy that digital marketer teaches, data-driven marketing teaches, and I think there's more people talking about this. And this is a really easy way to create more products when you don't have time to create a full product. And you will sell it for a lower price, obviously, but it can help. It can help create some diversity. And in my experience, it also helps with niching down your audience even more. Because when you have a course, you're going to have, 99 problems or 99 sub problems of the main problem. And people on your email list, they're going to have different experiences or awarenesses over those 99 problems, right? So let's say I want to buy a course on email marketing. My biggest problem could be, well, I don't have a big enough list. Do I have something in the big email marketing course that can help me increase my email list? Other people could be, well, I just hate emails. I don't know how to write them. Well, maybe there is a module in that big email course that teaches that. So you try to splinter what makes sense. Obviously, make it valuable. Like that's the biggest thing. And that allows you to have some variety each month. The other way you can do this is you can start with a free challenge. You can have a free training. You can have a lead magnet. And you start by promoting that freebie. And that leads into a promotion. So
Gotcha.
you can focus on, getting people into your challenge, making sure they engage there. And then after that challenge, you can tell them, well, if you need more help, I also have this course.
Love it. Awesome. Cool. Yep, that makes sense. What about the ideal scenario? Like, let's say, do you say, hey, ideal world, you got 3 courses and you do month 1, month 2, month 3, and then you repeat that? Or do you need 6? Or what can you kind of tell us there? Ideal world, what's your favorite one to work with?
Ideal world, I would have like a new course each month.
Gotcha. So 12
But
and
I'm
you
a
just
copywriter.
yeah, well, but still, so you do that like 12 each course, like a different course, and you just promote it once a month?
Yeah, that becomes a lot easier for the person writing the emails and for the brand
Yep.
as well. Like it has
But
variety.
harder for the course creator. All right.
Yeah, it's harder for the course creator, but something in my experience, course creators will already have a community and they teach. They actively teach. They
Yeah.
have plenty of content they can
Yeah.
use to create new courses because they would have like maybe group coaching, maybe they would have Zoom calls, maybe
Yep.
they would have, I know, monthly trainings in their community.
Yep. Yep.
You can already create that content.
Oh,
It
but
exists
question
already.
with this though, Monica. Say you got 12 courses, you just promote it once a
Mhm.
year, and that's it. Because I kind of see that. I'm like, it's a bit of a waste. You did all this work on this great course, and you're only going to plug it once a year.
Well, yes and no. There are a couple of things to consider. So let's say you have Black Friday where you can promote all of them at
Yep.
once, right?
Yep. Yep.
Maybe you can also do that again for January, like
Yep.
new
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 Year's.
year, new you. You can
Yep.
do a bundle, right?
Yep. Yep.
But if you always blast people with the same thing, it really becomes harder to find innovative ways to talk about the same thing, and the audience gets tired with it. So having that variety also kind of creates the impression that it's always new, maybe. And
Gotcha.
that you're not pushing them into always, hammering down with buy my email marketing course, buy my
Mm-hmm.
email marketing course.
Mm-hmm.
And it also allows you to allows you more freedom in finding the context that matches that course ideally. So, in April you have the ending of the fiscal year in the US, and they have to do their taxes, right? That's an amazing context to have. Which of your courses matches that ideally?
Yep.
Then over the summer, something else happens. Which of your course matches that ideally? Other times you're gonna get, viral news or viral video, and maybe somebody said something in those videos that you can connect the dots ideally with some of your courses. Because I've done that during the Olympics, I think 2 years ago. There was an US athlete who talked about the importance of self care and self love.
Oh, yeah.
So I actually used her quote to start the whole promotion. And I couldn't have planned for this because I couldn't know what she would say, but I used that context and selected out of the variety of courses something that made sense. Um, and that's like a tip for me. It's always easier to sell something when your audience is already problem aware. And
Oh,
they can be
100%.
problem aware because they interact with your content, but they would usually be problem aware if something becomes viral and the news is talking about it. Facebook is filled with sharing the same thing. You have TikTok. So when the problem is big around them as well, that's when you can tap into kind of like collective awareness and show them, yes, the problem is this, and yes, it's very big, and yes, we've been struggling to find ways to deal with it, and lots of us have tried 10 different things, but maybe they have or haven't worked. Here's what we're doing related to this problem. Here's how we are tackling this problem. And here's what the people who are using our method are saying. So you're not even selling it. You're letting your students selling it for you on your behalf.
Got it. Awesome. All right, cool. That makes sense structure-wise. I'd love to give the listeners maybe not some tips, maybe more resources in terms of the actual copy, because you've given us the structure, which was amazing. You've given us some practical examples, but I feel your practical examples just rolled off the tongue for you, Monica. You were just like, they come so natural, you can do it. I'm sure listeners are going to be like, how am I going to come up with all these emails that sound like that? If you could give us maybe some people to follow. You've already mentioned data-driven marketing. Is that John Ainscough, by the way? Is that him who runs that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. So he's a friend of
Yeah,
mine.
we work together.
Oh, well, he's a friend of mine.
Cool.
I've had him on this show a couple of times. I've been on his. You mentioned digital marketer. So I'll tell
Yeah.
you a quick story. When I first got into digital marketing, right, didn't know what I was doing, didn't make any sales. I had a guy who was my boss at a previous thing. And he's like, Jono, if you want to make money online, you got to get into email marketing. And I was like, well, how do I do it? And he's like, buy this course here, digital marketer, can't remember what it was called, the machine or something like that, buy this, it's like $2,000. And my car cost $2,000 at the time. So I was like, you buy $2,000 in this course? But he's like, trust me, go and do it. Bought it. Probably today, I'd still say that's the best course I've ever done at that kind of time. Because, now I might do a better course, but I might know half the things in the course. Back then when I knew kind of nothing, it was like the complete thing there. And just a thing for course creators, well, a lot of listeners might have heard me tell this story before. At the time, that was delivered on Dropbox. Right. So now a lot of kind of course creators are like, oh, should I get Kajabi or should I get Teachable or should I get Go High Level? And they've all got their positives and negatives. But if you have really good content, and this was 10 years ago or something, but still today, if I got that content on Dropbox, I'd still be happy with it. But since then, I'm a massive fan of them and I go to their conference often. So love them. But if you could give us maybe I'll give the listeners maybe some resources in terms of people, break it down in 3 different ways. If you could give us maybe your best paid mentors, so the best kind of courses that you've done or people that you've hired to help you learn your skills. Maybe some unpaid mentors, like you haven't paid them or done any courses, but you follow them on social media, you listen to their podcast, and they're the kind of people my listeners should follow. And then maybe a book or two that you recommend people should read.
Okay.
So paid, unpaid, book.
Okay, so paid digital marketer,
Mm,
they have an email marketing masterclass. I think that's what it's called, a copywriting one. And I think those two are pretty good to get you started.
yep.
The American Writers Association International, why? They also have a really good course on email marketing, and they do break down the promo email, similar to what I've said, but they are using buyer personalities, let's call them that. You have early adopters, logical decision makers, emotional decision makers, and procrastinators. I think that's a really good course to start with, and it's not that long. And then in terms of both paid and free, everything from copy hackers I find amazing just because they don't tackle the what, they tackle the why. Why are you writing this email? What's the purpose of this? What's in it for your audience? Why are you saying this to your audience? So it goes behind, like, here's the fish and eat it. It's more
Mm,
like, here's how to get the fish. And I find that very, very, very useful. Um, let's see, books. I the books I read are very are more on psychology and less on writing stuff. Obviously, like that David Ogilvy or whatever,
mm,
but try to understand your audience and human behavior as much as possible.
mm,
That's what I think is the secret of writing really good copy. So learn about, mindset. What keeps people stuck? How can you motivate people? What are some human behavior drivers? How do they respond to urgency? How do they respond to, I know, time saved versus um money saved? So
mm.
there's a lot of stuff there. I can't think of a book right now. I'm reading, I know it in Romanian, but I don't have it here. uh, it's a book written by two anthropologists, and I think it's the guide of the hunter picker, something like that, in
Yeah, they
the
are.
21st century. And it's basically, I think, 20 lessons of how human evolution is kind of impacted by modern age civilization. So
Okay.
yeah,
Interesting.
that's what I read.
Yeah,
That's
all
what
right.
I read.
I know most people are like, yeah, I'm reading Alex Hormozzi's book or Russell Brunson's book. Yours is a bit different, but that's
Those are good, yeah, but those only scratch the surface. And again,
mm,
it's they're all about the what. It's not about the why.
mm,
You can teach what and how, and so, like, what to write and how to write it. But if you don't understand the why, you're gonna struggle with everything in terms of selling. Because if you don't understand the why should someone buy my stuff? Why have I created this stuff? What's the point in me selling this and wanting to do this for other people? You're never going to be able to feel good about what you do and actually feel empowered to hit send on those promo emails and think, I'm actually doing something that can shift the world for the person who's going to buy that course.
mm.
So understand the why. That's the biggest thing, and that's like an example of human motivation. Why do you do the things you do?
Love it. Awesome. All right. Well, Monica, that was great having you on. I'm sure everyone's loved the episodes. Going to be thinking this woman is awesome. I want to follow her. I want to learn more about her. Where do we go to learn more about you?
So you can go to my website, monicabadiu.com. So that's BADIU.com. You'll find it in the show notes because my family name has a weird pronunciation. You'll find me on LinkedIn and YouTube, and I post weekly email reviews. So basically, everything that I talked about in this episode, I actually go in my inbox and I just randomly select an email and I look through it and try to explain why that email is good or why it isn't good and what you can do to improve it. Just because we need to see more example of what good email marketing is rather than, fear mongering and discounts blasting at everybody.
Gotcha. Awesome. All right. Well, I'll put those links in the show notes. Monica, that's all I wanted to get through today. Is there anything I should have asked you but forgot to, or anything you wanted to finish us off with?
You've asked plenty of really good questions. My advice, like my final advice for anybody who's watching this, try to understand why you have created your course. What's the need, the problem that it solves? And that's where you'll find ideas for your emails and the motivation to actually do email marketing and everything in your business for that matter.
Gotcha. Awesome. All right, Monica, thank you very much for your time.
Awesome. Nice being here.